Welcome back to all of you. So in this video lecture, I'm going to explain about compounding and fabrication of plastics. You know a plastic, you know a polymer, right? So, but in order to get plastic mold, what are the ingredients required? For example, if I say you like Hyderabad biryani, right? So, in order to prepare Hyderabad biryani, there are many ingredients are required. And after those all the ingredients you have acquired, you have to make it cut and then subjected to temperature conditions, low, swim, high, etc, etc. Some decorative has to be added, so in order to get the final taste like that. In case of plastics also, so many ingredients are required. They are supposed to be mixed in proper proportionate ratio, and afterwards they will be subjected to temperature and pressure conditions. Then we are going to get into the desired plastic mold. So that whole scenario can be explained in this video lecture. So let us see step by step what are the ingredients. So initially, so this can be defined as the plastic resin is mixed with some important ingredients fabricated to the desired shape to impart quality as engineering material, right? So in order to make this one, the first foremost useful thing is resin. So what is a resin? So it's a binder which holds the different constituents together, right? So what are the different types of resins? Obviously, you know, they are thermoplastic and thermoset resins, and they are being supplied as linear polymers of comparatively low molecular weight, so which are converted into cross-link infusible from during molding. So when you are going to add these resins, it increases the plasticity and flexibility. So that is about resin. This is the first ingredient. Second one is plasticizer. So from the name itself, plasticizer. So it means it increases the plasticity and flexibility of the polymer. So look at and compare these two diagrams. So these are like strands, right? So one over other like this, the strands are there in both the cases. But in the first case, there is no plasticizer. In the second case, plasticizer is there, right? So what are the commonly used plasticizers? They are vegetable oils, camphor, esters of stearic acid, tricrysyl phosphate and trivinyl phosphate, right? So they not only increase plasticity and flexibility, but they help to decrease the strength and also the chemical resistance. So this is about the plasticizers. This is the second ingredient. So the third one is fillers. So they are added to give final plastic bed and hardness, tensile strength, opacity and brittleness. So above all these things, if I say that fillers, they reduce the cost so that the plastic will be very much cheaper. Otherwise, it would be very much costlier one. But nowadays, we are getting plastic very, very cheaper. So not only that, they reduce cost of polymers. So some special types of fillers are added to impart special properties to polymers, like barium salts make polymers impermeable to X-rays, and asbestos provides heat and corrosion resistance. These are special categories. So if you want to have this heat and corrosion resistance polymers, obviously you have to add asbestos as a filler. Similarly, if you want to make polymer which must be impermeable to X-rays, you have to add barium salts. Like this, the selection of filler is going to be dependent upon. And not only that, it is going to fill almost about 50%, half of the percent of the total molding mix. So commonly used fillers are wood floor, gypsum, sawdust, marble floor, paper pulp. All these are very, very cheap quality, and they are nothing but as a waste products in those industries, but they can be used as the fillers. And in some cases you can also use metallic oxide like zinc oxide and lead oxide, right? The next one is lubricants. So from the name itself, lubricant means it makes the molding of plastic easier. So not only that, they prevent plastic material from sticking to the fabrication equipment. Examples are waxes, oils, stearates and soaps are employed to make the molding of plastic easier. Right? The next one is catalysts and accelerators. So you know the catalyst which enhances the reaction, it is nothing but also called as accelerate the rate of reaction. How this can be done? So they accelerate the polymerization of fusible resin during molding operation into cross-linked infusible form for thermosetting resins. This is especially for three-dimensional network structures. So in order to fill into the cross-link, like just like if you say take this square, right? So if there are in between like this also, so then it will become three-dimensional network which is infusible. So in order to convert into that one, you need the catalyst or an accelerator. So commonly used catalysts for compounding of thermosetting resins are, they are benzoyl peroxide, hydrogen peroxide, acetyl sulfuric acid, and also metals like silver, copper and lead, and also some metal oxide like zinc oxide can be used. Right? So this is about the history of catalysts and accelerators. So this is the sixth one. The seventh one is stabilizers. Right? So if you remember the key headings, at least you can write one point based upon that key point. So stabilizers, they improve the thermal stability during polymerization, and also during molding, heat stabilizers are used. So various examples are white lead, lead chromate, stearates of lead, cadmium and barium. So these are the some common examples or some widely used examples of stabilizers for the compounding of plastics. Next one is coloring materials. If the whole world is seen to be white in color, it does not give any aesthetic appeal to our eyes. So hence, to give aesthetic appeal, right? So coloring is of very high importance in polymers. So you are going to form this organic dyestuffs, opaque inorganic pigments are commonly used as a coloring material, right? Now, all the plastic ingredients are ready. Overall 8 ingredients I have explained. Now you are supposed to make a molding of plastics into articles. So to give suitable shape to plastic, if you say the bottle shape is different, the cap is different, the materials are different, a bucket is different, mug. So like this it is going to vary from one type of polymer to the another type. So this method chooses depend upon the type of plastic, whether you are going to prepare a thermoplastic or a thermoset, and finally the shape of the finished product. So these are the common methods which are given below. So the first one is compression molding. So molding is nothing but, so you are supposed to get the plastic, desired plastic outlet, that is nothing but the molding process. So this can be done by compression technique, hence this is called as compression molding. So first of all, look at this diagram. This is the top mold, this is the bottom mold. So in order to give adjustment between the top mold and bottom mold, guide pins, here one left side one guide pin and right side one more guide pin. So it means these guide pins you can adjust the screws. So in order to make it tighten or widen up, right? So upon the, from the top you can apply the pressure. So in between these top and bottom molds, there is a cavity here. Cavity is nothing but space. So in this space you are going to prepare the molded plastic ingredients. So what are the molded plastic ingredients? That's what I have explained, all the 8 varieties, right? So now coming to, this is about the description of this diagram. So coming to the procedure, so they are being top mold and bottom mold are being tightly closed together, and if you want to prepare a thermoplastic resin, you have to heat, and if you want to prepare a thermoset plastic, you have to cool. So it means heating and cooling are subjected by applying some temperature and pressure conditions. So finally, afterwards, we are going to get the curing. Curing is nothing but the final molded article is taken up by the opening. So from where you are going to open or get this one? So this is the hinge, which is called as extraction pin. So if you open that pin, obviously when you are going to open a screw like that, if you open that one, you can get the plastic mold article. So this is the only method which you can prepare both thermoplastic as well as thermoset resin. Right? This is very simple. The next category is, or the next type which is present in our syllabus is injection molding. So this technique is applicable only for preparation of thermoplastic resins. Whereas that is the main difference between compression and injection. Compression can prepare both, injection only applicable for thermoplastic resins. Now look at this diagram. So if you see, this is like an injection, hence this is called an injection. So with this, the top, we are going to mix the plastic feed, nothing but all the plastic ingredients are being feeded from the top, right? So whenever you are going to feed this one, see here dots are there. You can enhance this diagram and you can check also. These are called as heaters. So when we are going to heat the plastic ingredients, it is going to convert into the liquid state. So it forms fluidized plastic. So at the nozzle, a small space is there. Here we are going to convert into the fluidized nozzle. Here a screw is there, which is called as Archimedean screw. So if you press, just like injection, if you press that one, so simply this fluidized plastic is going to enter into the cavity. So if you look at this small part, so this is similar to that of compression molding, isn't it? This is similar to that of compression molding. But here in this case, only you can prepare thermoplastic resin. And finally, you are going to get the thermoplastic molded article outlet. With the help of this extraction pin, you can take the article outside, correct? So this is how the injection molding works. So what are the advantages? So this is mainly useful for molding of thermoplastics. So because of high speed protection and low mold cost. So and the cost of material is also very low, and you are going to get a nice finish, a low finished cost. You are going to get the good plastic outlet, right? So this is about compounding and fabrication of plastics. So once again I tell you students, so in order to prepare the plastic, we have to require the ingredients. They are called as compounding, and the fabrication is nothing but the molding process. So there are various types of molding techniques, but in our syllabus we have only compression and injection molding, right? So a small exercise for you. After listening to this, you prepare what are the various types of particles which can be prepared by compression molding and which can be prepared from injection molding. They can be written as a you can say applications, or simply called as engineering application, right? So thank you all. So next video lecture I will explain about the other rest of the topics like conducting polymers. Thank you all.